detective, thrill me.
Thanks for joining us again for another episode. Again, sadly no Gibbo, but as I pointed out at the end of last week, I suggest he's tried to stitch us up here. Tonight's film, From Paris with Love, sounds like a rom-com.
I can stitch up.
I wish it was. But before we get into that, they just put out the teaser trailer for Joker the other day, and we're going to do an up or down. Obviously, it's directed by Todd Phillips from the Hangover films. Stars Joaquin Phoenix as a Joker. I am halfway up. I think it looks kind of interesting to go this kind of gritty crime type of style, which is what it seems.
Mm-hmm.
But I have... And Joaquin Phoenix is a great actor. I've got absolutely no worry. I've got no concerns about him delivering a performance.
Him acting like a crazy man?
But my problem with it is I don't know what...
Yeah, he's got that covered.
Is it worth having this type of story? Like an origin type of setup for the Joker?
I love the idea. I can't wait to see it. I don't know much about the Joker. I remember being a kid and going, what's his deal? I don't really understand why he's so upset and how he fit into the whole thing, whole universe.
Yep.
But the idea of somebody taking on the persona of a clown and then being an actual psychopath is just a dichotomy that I can't wait to see. I want to see the setup. I want to see everything.
Jared?
I'm still tentative up, mainly because it's a DC flick, it's a comic flick. I want to check it out, but yeah, I've still got some hefty sort of reservations. Like pretty clear to you that I'm not a huge Todd Phillips fan.
No. What was it that put you off Todd Phillips?
A number of things, I would say. Part of this is just teaser trailers. I'm not a huge fan of the teaser trailer. I understand the need for them and the kind of society right now. We've got to see everything as soon as it becomes available. So as soon as they've got any footage to show, quick, we better fucking whip a teaser trailer out there. So, but the problem is you saw nothing but Joaquin Phoenix.
He was just wandering around the streets.
Yeah, it was just him, spinning around or, getting hit. It was all him. And it's going to be a lot of that in the movie, but there's a lot of other actors in there that are doing something. So we still don't really know a lot of it. And the other serious reservation I've got is, as I said to you in earlier conversations, Adam, there's not... The Joker origin stuff just never really seems to work. There's only really one that's ever been accepted. So I've got some reservations about that. One? It's The Killing Joke seems to be the only one that people kind of really accept, and that's kind of canon now. And they're taking leads from that. You can tell they're taking leads from it, like the whole idea of, the Joker telling Batman, the difference between you and me is one bad day. And you can see that shit happening to him in this trailer. But everything I saw on screen looked really good. So, yeah, I'm still a tentative up. I've got reservations that are going to be there until I see the product.
The Heath Ledger version just is
it's
very difficult to
that's difficult to overcome, right? And the thing with him was too, they even played on that, through The Dark Knight, where they talk about him giving backstory and he gives different ones every time.
Yeah. It's all made up bullshit.
Basically playing on the fact that I don't need one.
Yeah.
The one thing I do love is I really like the look of him. It's kind of a really twisted look on the colour scheme of like the 1960s TV show. Yeah. Like he's got the same kind of... He's got a similar suit. The makeup looks kind of similar to that, but really twisted
and much
chaotic. And I do like how he looks, and I think he's a great actor.
Yeah. And that's not what worries me, but I mean, Scorsese was attached at one point. He's quietly disappeared.
Quietly snuck away from things.
And I'm not saying that's a measure of any quality, but part of the thing about this was when it turned out that he was interested, I was like, fuck, this could be something.
It seems like it's going to be a lot more melancholy though than he'd be for, right? It doesn't look like it's just going to be balls to the wall action. Yeah. It's going to be a backstory and it's probably going to be more of a drama than an action, to be honest. From what we've seen anyway.
Well, my mate Ben from the AFB podcast, he basically his line of thinking is Scorsese may as well have bloody made the thing because it seems like they're ripping off all of his stuff.
Goodfellas or
so Taxi Driver and all that sort of shit.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, it's definitely an interest level there for me.
Yeah. Oh, look, I'll be definitely interested. I want to see it, but I have reservations. Heavy reservations. Also, we just recently heard some news about Rambo 5 from Rambo himself.
Whoa.
Sylvester Stallone. Was it on his Instagram feed?
It was on his Instagram, I believe, yeah.
He told us that it's just coming together beautifully, and that's Jared said. That's usually a source of holy shit, this movie sucks. Let's start
I suggested that's probably the tack to take when you think this isn't coming together as well as we think. We better put some positive buzz out there to sort of mitigate the damage.
Yeah, and look, Sly seemed relaxed. He seemed like he was, he felt this was one of the best. The good thing about it is he didn't say it's the best Rambo picture ever.
No.
Because that's where you know they're talking shit.
Yeah. He was very vague about, when you're editing things, sometimes you look at them and just say, this didn't work. This one's coming together beautifully.
As I said to you, I think you should have looked at this the moment you started writing. It's not coming together, Sly.
He does a good job, though, of taking an old idea and making it modern.
He does. I'll give him that. But my concern is this, that I felt that Rambo, the one that he brought back, the excruciatingly violent film...
Listen, mate, you can sit on your concerns because you're going to love it. You are going to love every minute of it.
My concern is that he capped Rambo beautifully.
Look, I saw you. When we saw that video, you were...
I perked up a little.
You were all, you were all blustered, but I could see the twinkle in your eye.
It's like you've got me. You wrote me in, it's coming together beautifully. You know it is.
You're not fully committed until Frank Stallone has fully committed. We know.
Feed by Frank Stallone. Yep, you're in.
Yeah. Until Sly says to me, Frank is doing the music, I am not in. No, I felt, in all seriousness, he capped Rambo perfectly with the last one. And
prior to the last one, you probably would have said the same things.
Not about Rambo 3. Have you seen Rambo 3 recently? Oh,
I have.
Shit.
But I guarantee you were saying, why are we bringing Rambo back?
No, mate, my concern was, I accepted the Rambo that he brought back in 2010 because his Balboa was so good. And I sort of felt, he seems to have sort of looked at all this and decided, I want to finish it right. And I thought he did a good job. I mean, look,
this is the thing. We could have said, I know when we first heard Creed coming together, we thought, jeez, Rocky's still in it. Creed 2, or should they have left it at Creed? But
Creed took it away from Rocky being in the ring, thank Christ.
But he's still very important to the whole thing. But
But when they roll out a synopsis, they show me a picture of the bloke who looks like the fucking Marlboro Man, and then 5 minutes later they roll out a synopsis that talks about how he's working the ranch and his bloody mate's daughter ends up with a Mexican cartel. I mean, I just about... I started fucking laughing.
I can't believe anything that he does anymore because his face is so plastic. It just takes away from the roughness of the character.
Yeah.
I guess maybe Rocky you can buy it because he's
been punched in the face.
He's made his money, and he's made his money.
But look, I was a little excited. You just seeing Sly get excited got me excited.
Look, I'm not going to lie to you. Look, he's got me. All that shit I just said, forget about it. I'm on Rambo 5 like you wouldn't believe. All right. Let's take a break. Here's the trailer for From Paris with Love.
From the director of Taken.
There's a suicide bomber inside the embassy.
I've got you working with our top operative.
Here we go. Charlie Wax. Unconventional. Unpredictable. Unstoppable. John Travolta. Jonathan Rhys-Meyers.
Don't move!
Come on, baby.
From Paris with Love.
That's how I do things.
Rated R. In theaters.
From Paris with Love, from 2010. We just had a quick conversation. Wasn't that the name of Paris Hilton's sex tape? No, it's not. Thank God for that. It was directed by Pierre Morel, who directed Taken. Produced by Virginia Besson-Siller, who produced Lucy, and India Osborne, who produced The Darkest Hour. The story is by Luc Besson, who gave us The Fifth Element, and the screenplay is by Adi Hassick, who wrote the film 3 Days to Kill. Stars John Travolta as Charlie Wax and Jonathan Rhys-Meyers as James Reese. The budget was a hefty $52 million. I don't know what they got for that. And the box office was 52 worldwide. They broke even.
Yeah, too much.
Travolta's wife is actually has a brief cameo as a woman wearing sunglasses at the Eiffel Tower. Didn't see her.
No, I missed that.
Possibly because I was on my phone. Okay, I'm going to start on this one. It's just purely forgettable. It's not so bad, but it's just right in the middle. It's like, it's vanilla. All the way vanilla.
If you asked me what the movie was called before we walked in, I couldn't tell you.
Exactly. If you asked me...
I watched it like 2 days ago.
If you asked me to tell you about the key action scenes, I can't.
Yeah.
Because they would have been all exactly the same as something else we saw previously. Look, I had a bit of fun with Travolta. He at least understood that it was shit and goes overboard. And there's an action scene or two that's okay. But other than that, it's just real.
I challenge you to tell me which one or two that was.
It's a sliding scale. I give it 1.5. I was this close to going to a 1, but I remember giving Ballistic 1, and this is just slightly better than Ballistic. Only just, but it is.
I don't even know if that's true.
It is.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy it as much.
Jared.
I went for a 1.5, and I think that's what I gave X vs. Sever.
Yeah, but you were up above on X vs.
So, yeah, I was the high point for X vs. Sever, but also I could laugh at a couple of things in there.
Yeah.
Not a heap of it, but this one, it's just, as you said, it's just super bland, totally forgettable. There's nothing that stands out. There's none of the writing, none of the action, none of the dialogue.
Even the location, which should be a plus.
Yeah.
Being in Paris.
Yeah.
But but then they take it into Chinatown, and then it just feels like they're in America.
Yeah.
Like you forget that they're in Paris very, very quickly.
Seriously, there's a bit where they're doing a stakeout in a bloody apartment block. Looks like bloody Bosnia. I think it was Romania.
They started off so romantically as well with the music and the car ride, and then it just turns into
What
hell.
about shoehorning the Eiffel Tower in for literally like 10
for
seconds?
no reason.
Just because you're in Paris.
Just because we're in Paris, we'll have us at the Eiffel Tower. It has to happen.
Everything about it was just half-baked, just shitful all around, really. If it's not a stitch-up, Gibbo needs his fucking head wrapped for suggesting this one. He's got to be stitching us up. Has to be.
Yeah, well, he's conveniently slept through this one, so he knew it was a bloody piece of shit.
Yeah, I think he turned the movie on before he came.
No, I know what happened. Gibbo started watching this and went, oh, I remember this. Shit. I'm out this week.
Oh, God.
Okay, Matty, come on.
Yeah,
what do you got?
I didn't enjoy this very much. Look, I'll tell you what, though, I got through it, so that's a plus. I thought it was miscast.
Is that
even though I know
is that where we're at? I got through it.
Got through it.
Positive.
It was just I thought it was miscast. I thought the relationships didn't develop in a way that's like natural. I thought that it was predictable, and then I thought it was cliched with how America is the greatest and guns are pretty good. So yeah, 1.5 maybe 1.5.
Just give it a 1. You know you want to.
No, give it a 1.5, mate. Stay the course.
I didn't really enjoy it.
Okay.
But like you said, there's a couple of good action scenes in there. Or some stuff that was slightly entertaining.
I think I'll edit that. The action scenes are okay when the fucking camera is not
stable.
Yeah, well, and it's unfortunately there are large portions of some of them that the camera's not stable at all.
Yep.
I don't want to get into the dislike straight away, but the car chase on the motorway is basically impossible to work out what's going on.
And ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was one of the less chaotic of the action sequences.
But still I couldn't see what was going on.
Some of the ones in the apartments, You may as well just show me a slideshow of shots of the fucking apartment walls or something, because that's all I was getting.
Look, I'm saying to me, the most enjoyable part of it was actually Travolta for me. He's dialed up to the max. He's fucking silly as a wheel.
You're on
but
an
guess
island
what?
there.
No, but guess what? He was at least there. There was some entertainingness from his work.
Look, I'll give you that he was trying. I don't know about the entertainment,
but whenever the movie had any energy, it was when Travolta was around.
That's true.
When he wasn't, it was just unbelievable.
But who was the other bloke? What's his name?
That first 20 minutes where Travolta's nowhere to be seen is excruciating.
Yeah.
It is excruciating.
But there's even parts where Travolta's in it.
Yeah, I know. They're also excruciating, but he brings some energy to the piece.
Yeah.
And for a second, you think to yourself, okay, if the dialogue was better, we might be getting somewhere. But the dialogue is just...
Yeah, it's poor.
It's like been written in feces on the
We're still in
wall.
the likes and everything's got a caveat.
Didn't you feel, though, with Travolta that it was sort of like, I felt like he'd had some compliments, heard the compliments that were given to Nick Cage for his outrageousness in the last couple of films he'd been in. He was like, oh, maybe if I ham it up another 20%, then maybe I'll get some accolades.
Yeah, look, I agree. I think he probably did, but I also think he read the script and went...
I was like, it was either that or he was like, I came back from Pulp Fiction, this is my cash cow, I'm going to take the cash.
Basically, I reckon that's what happened. I reckon he looked at it, he went, I've signed on to this.
Turd sandwich.
The fucking thing is it's written in crap on the wall.
Yeah, that's right.
It's written in crap on the wall.
The stencil came in.
But I've actually locked myself into this shit. So rather than go ahead and try and let's rewrite this, rewrite that, I'll just act like an idiot.
He's probably sitting there going, look, it's a paycheck and it's better than dancing on stage with 50 Cent. And then look, 10 years later, here we are.
It's funny because I would have danced on stage with 50 Cent.
Well, he's there now. He's reached that point where he's like,
I would have done it in 2010. Where do I say the shootouts? The one in the Chinese restaurant was all right.
That was the one that was probably the only one that I sort of liked.
It hit the mark for me because it was quick, it was sharp, there was plenty of gunfire.
Yeah.
It was, he does a couple of little bits where he, throws a few blokes around in the midst of it.
Yeah. And it was
short.
It was one where it because it was really the first one that he's involved in, there was a little bit of, shit, this is showing that he's a loose cannon.
This is one in the street, right?
For the rest of the movie,
no, it's in the Chinese restaurant.
In the restaurant.
Doesn't he have the fight first in the street?
No,
that comes after the restaurant.
Okay.
That's where they follow the guy too. But it's the first one where it's like, so this guy's a loose unit and he does things like when he shoots the thing and the drugs start, sifting through the bloody ceiling.
Well, is that just a room full of coke?
It looked like it.
That was so dumb. How does he know? I don't know how he knows.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, that's the...
what they were trying to do is say he's ahead of the game.
Even the good stuff had this stupid stuff about it, but at least the scene sort of looked okay. And it was the first one that had a bit of like... I don't know whether shock value is the word, because you knew what was going to get to eventually, but it was the first one. I was like, okay, this is where we're at.
I also found the shootout in the dressmaker's warehouse to be okay as well. Partially because I like the idea of the mannequins, and you've got guys sort of stalking each other in amongst them. I thought that was kind of cool.
And they were full of coke too, weren't they?
No, I don't think they were coked up. They didn't have any coke in them.
I thought that's how they were shipping it. Because didn't he shoot a couple of them and they fucking exploded in like powder?
What's this? What are you talking about? I should have read the Wikipedia page to get a full synopsis.
Well, that's what I thought. I thought the workers were. That's how they were transporting.
I don't think anyone knows what
Maybe I was wrong.
You sure that wasn't just the powder from the? Yeah, because they're made of what?
Yeah, but what's it doing in a fucking drug runner's warehouse?
I don't know. Maybe he was making dresses as a cover.
They don't have side businesses. It's a front for what they're doing. There's got to be a purpose to those mannequins.
I giggled when he was snorting coke out of a vase at the bottom of the Eiffel Tower.
Yes.
Hey, you got to laugh. Got to laugh from me.
You idiot.
I was clutchy. And for some reason I thought tossing the suicide vest out the window to blow up the car.
That was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That was at least clever.
Yeah.
Semi-clever. In a movie that had no clever elements.
The one bit where I actually got a laugh was when Travolta was said to him, "Stay one floor below me." And when they're going up the stairs, he's like, cover down here.
All the bodies.
And the bodies just kept falling down the middle of the stairwell.
Yeah, that's right. He's on a fucking tear just shooting everybody.
You just keep hearing this, and then a body will just go falling down the middle of the thing. I thought, okay, yeah, well, that's kind of amusing. That'll get me, that one.
I had nothing else.
I actually thought, look, this was points, again, we're clutching, points for an idea rather than the execution, but I didn't mind the whole thing unfolding of, like, we're finding out exactly what's going along at the same time as Reese is.
Might, yeah.
Because Wax has obviously he knows what's going on. Reese is finding out, and I thought that was okay.
Yeah.
The execution of it was shit house in the end, but I don't mind that idea of finding out that information as you go along like that, rather than kind of knowing this is what we're doing, or the way that it's changing the story.
But the problem too with that is, I like that idea. I agree with you.
The execution.
But the
was cool
execution
because we just went from
so
place
generic
to place
too.
to place to place.
But it was just so generic. If you had an interesting twist in there. It would have been cool to be on that ride with them.
It would have been nice if Reese wasn't so ignorant. Like, he just seemed useless. Like, he was scared of a gun. Then had no experience at all in the field. But also, he's just like working in an embassy, and all of a sudden.
But also, even when Wax is taking him from place to place, as you said, the first few, it's just. We're going from here, and then we're going to here, and then we're going to here, and it's too long before Reese gets anything close to what we're doing. And as such, we're trying to put the fucking pieces together, and you can put a few of them together.
Yeah.
But
there's no time to let anything
towards the end, I'm sitting here going, so we've switched from running drugs to bombing embassies. When did that happen? So there was a few things like that.
But the other thing too is they have this whole thing where look, we're in the dislikes.
I had a couple of quiet ones before we went.
Gosh, you've got bloody more paperwork.
No, they're very small. They're very small. One was I liked when after blasting through a warehouse that they walk into a fucking little kid's performance.
Yeah,
I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah,
one of the few kind of moments where I was like, okay, that's kind of subverting expectations a little bit. That's kind of amusing.
That's right. And they hold that bloke up at gunpoint.
Yeah, while the performance is going on, he's sitting there, Wax is still. That was one of the moments where it was like, this is where you could kind of buy into Wax's character. Yeah. That Reese is sitting there going, oh shit, and kind of you can tell wants to get out of there. Yeah. But Travolta's still like closest guy, like jams a gun into him and continues on with the thing. The last one that I had was the moment when Reese shows up on the evidence board. It's you sort of felt things were heading in that direction, but it was one of the few things in the movie when you were like, oh, okay, we're on here. Something's kind of twisted, and I actually thought at that moment, I thought perhaps Travolta's going to fucking turn on him or something like that.
But that could have worked.
It's in the dislike section,
It's very minor. I mean, these are everything on my dislikes, on my likes list
is counted on the other end.
Basically counted at the way they fucking screwed it up.
But that would have actually given a measure of interest, because getting into the dislikes, you got this guy who's working for the embassy or whatever, right? He wants to be an agent. Is that correct?
Yeah, he wants to be special.
He wants to be a special ops agent. He's then put with an absolute loose cannon, like a special ops agent. You would never put someone like this guy with him. But a double cross and pitting him against Wax to get his spurs would have actually been better.
As Matty mentioned, like training day, that's what it seemed like it was going towards. It seemed very much that mould.
Yeah, because he did the same thing, the same trick. You have some cocaine, you get out of your wits, and now I own you because you've done the wrong thing. Even though everything you've done up till now
is clean,
including following my directions, is clean.
Yeah. And basically now I've pulled you in so I can act like an absolute loose cannon and blow things up with bazookas.
Which I probably would have been furious if it did turn into that as well. But to make Travolta
would have at least given you some kind of
something
to clutch onto. I remember that, the double cross.
Yeah,
it just went so straight down the line. Like, my first dislike is it's just so generic. It's like it's a Euro sort of thriller that has this espionage element, and the CIA and the all these counterintelligence groups, and it just does everything like you would have
Everything's
expected.
super bland.
Yeah, nothing, including Rhys Myers.
Yeah.
Like I'm looking at him and I'm thinking, why did you pick this guy?
I don't like his voice.
Charisma, Karasama, mate.
A little bit of Karasama.
We talk about this.
Required.
Karasama can get you. You can take a role like that, right, where he's supposed to be. Basically, he's playing second fiddle, right, to Travolta. But you've got to have an actor with the charisma to hold your attention, rather than because Travolta's holding your attention by acting like an idiot.
Yeah.
So you need a counter. And Myers had nothing. He was like a
just
ghost,
bland.
mate. He was barely
bland.
even.
He wasn't a
barely
funny-
registered with me.
He wasn't a funny foil.
Yeah.
And he wasn't getting better as he was doing his job.
Yeah.
So there was nothing really for you to go. There was no development
So
there.
every time him and Travolta are on screen, and you got this rubbish dialogue, but Travolta's carrying on like a goose and he's going over the top, and the energy's there, and then they cut over to Rhys Myers and you're just like, oh, this guy again.
Yeah.
I was doing that when Travolta was on screen as well. So.
But you've got to have people who can play off each other.
Yeah.
And admittedly, you need dialogue that crackles a little.
yeah.
But even if you didn't have that, you had two actors who could play off each other's and say, Travolta says, I'm going over the top. Okay, I'm going to come under there. You could have got something more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you didn't, because Myers wasn't. I mean, he is fucking, talk about bland. Bloody hell.
The half-like was when he pulled out the embassy sticker and said, this is embassy mail, and now we can get this gun out of here.
Yeah.
But, like, why was he carrying it with him? Like, there was holes
Well,
there.
he was saying, wasn't he saying, oh, I don't trust it. This is the only thing I trust. His gun was the one that he wanted to keep. But also, Myers
cares?
knew nothing. Myers knew nothing
that's
about
what
what
I'm
was in the cans.
No, but that's what. But how did he know to bring the sticker to be able to take the stuff with him?
Fucking,
Like,
I don't know.
Well, you brought up the dialogue, and for me, that scene is where the terrible dialogue kicks off.
So
Yeah.
dumb.
The whole time he was going on about the cans, I'm just sitting there going, whoever wrote this is just aping Tarantino, and it's cut rate.
But also,
It's cut rate Tarantino.
but the dialogue even before that's really poor, because
Even
that
names.
whole sequence with
And they
Even
explain it
names.
later. Did you see what I was trying to do there? I just didn't want them to know that what was in the cans wasn't actually soft drink, but it was my gun. Look at how good I am. I hated it.
But I mean, the whole, like, the character name, Charlie Wax. It's like you tried to make, like, a Tarantino-esque kind of name there, like a...
yeah.
It just
Mr. Wolf.
it hasn't panned out. Like
Yeah.
everything was just, but the dialogue all the way through. Poor old Travolta. Like I agree with you with his energy and stuff like that. He was having a crack, but everything he was given to say just sounded ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Just everything. There wasn't a line where I thought, yeah, that landed. Like,
Yeah. Because they were trying to go almost buddy cop, somewhat,
Yeah.
Yeah.
in the execution. But, as I said, you got bad dialogue, you've got one actor that's up in the stratosphere, and you've got one actor down here. Nobody's meeting in the middle, your dialogue's shit. what do you got? You've nothing. You've
we
got
got here?
zero.
The bloke can't even figure out that his girlfriend's
A
bloody
double agent.
And you want him to... I don't want him defending my country.
And you tell, like, this movie purports to believe that he did not see any of this coming.
Yeah. And the only thing that he's got going for him is he can play chess. That's it.
well, the whole time, like the cast is so small that as soon as you see the build up with his relationship with her, you're thinking, all right, so she's super important. She's going to come back in some way. She's either going to be held against him in some way, or then as soon as you see her
In the dodgy part of
in the
town.
dodgy part of town, you're like, oh, okay, so that's where we're going. Like, it's just, it was crazy. Like,
See, to me,
he's
once
sitting
again, I
there
come
going,
back to it.
oh, but she's a dressmaker. Oh, look. I know there's a Lincraft at the local mall. Like, you don't have to go to that part of town to get your fucking fabrics.
Yeah. You're in the dressmaker's shop next door to the brothel. That's normal. But Travolta's character is better for the double cross. It would have worked better with that.
Yeah, as Matty said, though, I reckon they kind of, in a way, they went the training day route so much that if they had have done that, and it would have been like, yeah, you're copying training day. So they kind of wrote themselves into a corner there too.
And then just went, well, it's too difficult to change now. Let's just keep going.
The rest of the cast is fucking awful, including his missus is the pits. She is just shocking, and the American minister is quite obviously a French guy putting on a Yank accent.
There was parts where he was going, and I was just thinking, he kind of reminds me of when Lloyd Bridges was the president. What was Hot Shots 2?
There's one point I think where he looks at a girl comes in a short skirt to give something, and then she walks off, and he turns around and he goes, "Oh my god, we've hit the low end there." And also Ruth Myers' facial hair. Taking a leaf out of Noel Gallagher's book, a fucking beard is a choice. That shit is disgraceful. It should not be considered. See, Travolta at least went for a full goatee. He committed to a goatee. I don't know what Myers is committing to.
I think Travolta's...
That's not even getting up on a porno set these days.
Travolta's look alone is a dislike that we can discuss for at length.
Enjoy it, Erie. Hadn't that gone out in the late 90s?
He was totally... I feel bad for him because he was totally miscast. They have him in as this guy who should be like a super fit, charismatic, hyper intelligent guy, and he just looks like...
Who would you play?
But they give him the edge. They go, what should we do to give Travolta some edge? We'll give him a bald cap and a big ring in his ear.
I've told you.
He wasn't a cap. I think
he might have actually shaved up. Yeah.
He had to.
He looked like the Jersey Shore version of Ming the Merciless. It was just ridiculous.
Was he with the Jim Tan laundry?
I couldn't buy it.
Ming the Merciless. Oh my god.
It's just
I can tell you right now, Reese Myers was not Flash Gordon. That earring was... Nah. That was a 90s thing.
I've got nothing against earrings, but when it's clearly a choice to, like, this guy's got to have some edge for the 2010s, you've missed the mark.
I felt like he was a bit too old for the role as well.
Yeah, I would have gone a little bit younger.
Definitely. It was like Vin Diesel. They tried and they were like, we didn't get Vin Diesel.
Maybe we should have put Diesel in there. I mean, he excelled as an agent in Triple X, so...
Yeah, but his response was too close to Triple X. Like too close to my Triple X character.
Leathercoat's not near as good as a dead snow leopard to wear. I'm not doing it.
I can't do it. Leather jacket, I can't do it. I need something more like a man fur.
Getting back to poor old Reese Myers, and this wasn't anything to do with his acting, it was more again to do with the script.
Was shit ass.
But this had something, a large portion to do with the script. When they're breaking down what's happened with the girl.
Yeah.
In the
apartment?
wake of the apartment being torn apart and whatever. He says that they were engaged, and then he kind of shakes his head and goes, I know nothing. I knew nothing about the girl. I'm like, what? Like, you just got engaged to her? Like, you know nothing? Like, they ask him, like, a couple of questions, and he's just there going, I don't know. I know nothing about the girl. It's like, okay, well...
What was her name?
I don't rushed into that one, haven't you? Like... but he constantly goes on. It's so
personally,
ridiculous.
if I'm waxed, I'm going. So why did you get?
It's so ridiculous because they go on about how wrapped up he is in this girl and how she's the love of his life. And 2 minutes later, he's just going, thinking it's like he's saying, I fell into the trap. I just know nothing about it.
But is he the most useless person to follow anyway? Does he have any actual real power? He drives a dude around.
Well, that's it.
He sounds like a glorified driver that plays a bit of chess.
Yeah.
At that point.
Yeah.
I don't know why they would bother investing all the resources.
I also would like to know why they were putting him as a field agent.
Yeah.
Like what? Well, I'm just trying to work out.
He was the only one left.
Was he already an agent of some kind, but he wanted to get into the field?
No,
I don't
he
even
was just
know what
hoping for the
department
big
he's
promotion the whole
working
time. He was just hoping.
He was
just
working
felt like
with
he
the
was a
sleazy
diplomat.
American
I thought it was
diplomat.
Secret Service or something. I don't know.
Well, he wasn't Secret
I agree
Service.
with you
because
100%.
Wax was blowing up the world. Yeah, he was doing it under the fucking guise of bloody, undercover operations black ops, mate. He wasn't doing this stuff.
It didn't work because the like I said earlier, the disparity between their experience and where they were, it just didn't work at all.
Plus, the Myers is just to fucking rub some salt into Myers' gaping wound that I've opened up on him. His American accent's fucking shit out. He's bloody constantly off that.
I thought you were going to cut the bloke some slack in some department.
No, I'm not cutting him anything.
Fucking right into it. Worst character in the movie? I haven't even got to him yet. The woman in the red-headed woman that's heading to the diplomat that's heading to the meeting.
She was the
The one
president.
that was frustrated all the time.
The president. I didn't even know she was the president. Yeah, she's the worst character in the movie.
Firing people.
I thought she was just a diplomat of some sort. I didn't. Fuck, I missed it. If she was the president.
And I love the fact that they get told there's a guy coming your way with a car full of explosives.
Yeah.
And she goes, no.
There's a threat. That's what I mean. Potential threat. They want us to change course. And she looks at the bloke and just, nah.
He looks at her phone, her watch.
Is that even your choice?
No, the Secret Service is saying,
we need to change course. Next thing you know, there's a fucking flaming car in front of her. Travolta's just blown the thing up and saved them. But then she gets to the meeting, and after all the shit goes down, she's had a minor inconvenience and had to sit in the car for a while. And she's fucking calling for jobs. Did the fucking flaming car in front of you not give you a sense that the car was where you needed to be right now?
Yeah.
I don't know. She was just... I'm like, why even have a character like that?
Look, Reese Myers' job is on the block. In my mind, he's a
she was
lifeline driver.
Oh, look, I'm glad you saved my life, but fire him anyway. He's useless.
No, but let's
he
let
does nothing. All he does is play chess.
Yeah. Let's let this borderline psychotic Charlie Wax run loose in town. No, he can be fine.
Yeah, she was
annoying.
She was the worst character in the movie. She was only in it for 2 minutes.
Oh, mate, my favourite sequence in the entire movie from a laughs perspective was Travolta beating up 5 very fit-looking dudes. That was a little pudgy Travolta sort of take it, and they slow it down to absolute fucking molasses speed. And showcase like he's tagging these blokes. I'm thinking
That was as close to like as I had.
that's not happening. That is not happening. I mean, the fact that they at least give him a baseball bat so he finishes a couple of them off quickly, I feel okay. Yeah, but there's a sequence. Also, Travolta sliding down a stripper pole like he
Upside down.
was absolutely should never happen ever again.
That was hilarious. He's sliding upside down, firing away. It was like that something out of Drive Angry or something.
We talked about the subtext of like we've talked about it for the last couple of movies, but the subtext in this is just like America is amazing and we hate terrorists and Asians, and then guns are really good.
Yeah,
it really annoyed me. And it's
funny because it's written and produced by Luc Besson, who's not an American,
but I feel like that's what
seems to make American style action films.
But I feel like they've sat around and gone, what would Americans like to watch? How can we make $52 million? Let's make a...
But you know what? This is the thing that I don't quite understand. You repackage the crew that made Taken, right? And then you look at Taken, and Taken is classic A to B storytelling. There is nothing more to Taken other than pure... Daughter gets taken, and he's just on a rampage, right? But in this, they decide... What we'll do is we'll convolute things up. We'll make it complicated as hell. We don't even know that the woman in the car is meant to be the president. We don't know anything. Why would you even do that?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you just make it another one of these type of films?
Yeah.
Or,
that's where that should have gone.
Or you'd scrap it in the scripting phase. You'd immediately go, this script sucks.
Yeah. Yep. Well, I think, who's the bloke that wrote it? Adi Hashek?
Yeah.
I've been looking for that name and avoiding it.
I hated that bit at the end where it's like the validation that Wax gets is by, have you got a gun? I've got a gun as well now. And like then like shake hands and they're best. Now you're on my level because you can shoot people.
Yeah.
Even though like during the fight sequences he shoots one person, and then before that the best thing he's done is pass a gun to Travolta to shoot someone. So it's just like,
I need an explanation as to how she got through security wearing that vest. Because she had his card, but he gets hammered because he's got the little handgun tucked in his strides. I'm sure her vest is setting that fucking security thing off.
Yep.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
So, despite having his card, how'd she get in there?
She had it all hidden in cans of mother. She came in.
I'm taking it in my cans.
She came in with a case of mother.
I've got a case of
Nobody
mother.
questioned it.
Yeah.
Oh look, I'm just bringing some beverages. I get thirsty a lot.
But it's like they've obviously, they've put this plan together over how long to get access to him and to get access to what's going on. And our plan walks through the front door where the security
But
stuff
they're
is.
so stupid, and the script is so lame that all you needed was a short throwaway line that his pass gets him past
straight
security.
through
He does not go through security.
That's what I was thinking. When
It's a
the
one-liner.
guy says he's my aide.
Yeah.
Why do we need that? You've been through the clearance to get the fucking job, haven't you?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And that would have made more sense.
Would have made
she
more sense.
walked
'Cause he
through
walks in.
the back door,
Exactly.
did not go through security, and now she's got a C4.
Except for the fact that the ID should have had some fucking a name that was a male's name and a picture of him or something.
Yeah, that's right.
I'll pass that
They,
one.
they didn't even bother to show that she doctored it up.
He should have been berated by his boss.
And then,
where have you been?
Getting past that, but his speech
My
at the
car
end,
was not on time.
his speech at the end is utter bullshit. It's utter shit, and all it is to extend it before he shoots her in the head.
That was horrible.
As Matty said, the validation. Oh yeah, he shot her in the head.
Yeah.
But I
Now he's
tell her,
made.
I better put the gun down and then tell her I love her beforehand because we better give the audience a moment of she might turn around.
Let's give
she
this
wasn't
terrorist an
turning around.
opportunity to be a real American and show some love.
Oh fuck.
and the thing about it is, they try to pull the emotional strings in a way, but it's like
second.
I did not care one iota for
No.
either of these people.
Yeah.
So
Couldn't give
why
a
would
shit.
you think? Why would you think that an emotional sequence where he tells her that he loves her is going to hold any weight in any way?
She
I
had
don't know.
15 wires in their house that he didn't pick up on. He's a horrible agent. 15.
But he wasn't an agent. He was just a bloke who drove guys around.
Yeah, but obviously, judging by this movie, you don't need to know anything to be the low level. If you show a bit of promise, which I'm not sure he actually did, you get a crack at with Charlie Wax. And
What I love is that
Get a crack at the big
he
leagues.
goes, I really, really feel I've done the work to become an agent. You left 15 bugs in your home. That does not compute.
Oh, God.
yeah.
You let a terrorist reside in your house and you then proposed marriage to her and you didn't do nothing about it. You want to be a field agent?
Didn't happen to drop a bloody bug on her when she's going down to the dressmakers next to the brothel, making sure she wasn't in that part of town.
Wax was in town for a day and he shot her. He worked out she was on the dodge.
He's aware that she's going to that part of town, but she says, I'm going to the dressmakers, and he buys it.
Look, listen.
What are you doing? You shouldn't be in this department.
At the very least, at the minimum, I think she's a prostitute.
His critical thinking skills are really lacking.
I haven't quite joined the dots to terrorism.
But something's not right here.
But one day with Wax teaches him everything he needs.
I must admit, this isn't a great light, but I did find that sequence where they're talking and they're having wine and everything, and then Wax just shoots her friend,
The chick from the pony
just
show.
straight away. Like,
Yeah.
obviously he's onto
Yeah.
it. But once again, Wax has been in town 24 hours. He sniffed this out. He's been dating this bird for months.
He met the bird 20 minutes ago. He's figured it out.
I think when he said, "Oh yeah, look, this is where she gets her fabric," Wax should have said, "Bullshit." Get your head out of your ass.
Yeah. Unless that fabric's packed with a fucking kilo of cocaine, she's not getting it from here.
It's washed in cocaine, mate. It's bloody. Oh man. The car chase I said with the bazooka. It's just
In any other movie, that would be a plus.
We've been through every scene in the movie.
If someone says to me, "Oh, there's this scene where two cars are driving, and one guy's got a bazooka," I'm going,
And
"Give me a look at this."
he's leaning out the window with a bazooka.
But it just has absolutely no. It doesn't get the pulse racing. There's nothing. There's no adrenaline. There's nothing.
He was driving with a mannequin too. I'm pretty sure there was sort of smuggling going on, and then he just decided halfway through to become a terrorist and start holding things.
According to you, that mannequin's chock full of cocaine.
Yeah, he's smuggling.
Yeah, what?
I've just got a mannequin to drop off to someone.
So hang on. So we went from cocaine, large amounts of cocaine, to terrorism.
Yes. So
What was the link? What was the connection?
well, it seemed to be when they got to that public housing that they were selling the drugs to fund.
they made the
Terrorism?
connection. Yeah, the I guess.
What are you laughing at?
Because they were chasing down
I bought that.
they were chasing down the drug guys, and then they just came across the terrorists.
You bought that. You're as dumb as Ruth. Yeah, you're right. I reckon there's some shit missing. Well, there's pages of the script that we're not giving out.
Well, they just stitched it together. Someone said, "How do we get from selling drugs to the terrorists?" Oh, I don't know. Can
Some
we just
pictures
whack
on
it
the
in this
wall.
scene here?
Pictures on the wall.
Anything else?
Oh yeah. Anyone? I can't believe we haven't mentioned the Royale with cheese head not joke.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
That's just again. It just reminded me that
Tarantino
this.
must have wanted to shoot somebody.
I felt like Travolta was like hating himself as he was saying that.
Yeah. It's got
It's like-
of all the lines, he lacks the least amount of energy he's given in that bit. He just kind of goes, "Oh, Royale with cheese."
And it wasn't such a solid way to try
Buries
and
his head in the
build
bag and has a small cry for a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
Thinking, "What
This
am
is
I
where
doing?"
I've become. This is what I've become. And his wife's like, "They gave us 15 million, John."
such a soft way to build rapport. It hurt my feelings.
Yeah, look, that was pure shit.
The other one I'm going to say, like how much forethought Wax had to be able to predict every single situation, that he's like willing to make the only guy that's really on his side carry a vase full of cocaine for a whole freaking movie. It just was stupid. I
You
didn't
know,
like
I was just like, I thought the same thing. I'm
It
like, he's
comes
carried
into
that
play
a
when he
long
drops it
way.
to little kids, doesn't he?
Yeah, he drops it to get them like basically.
They're
If
suddenly
you're
in the
around
club,
here,
yeah.
it's now
Now
possession
cocaine
for like
the more than a kilo
more
thing.
than a kilo. It's like okay.
He's just made him the handbag instantly and just taken him out of having any actual use in the whole movie, pretty much.
Good God.
So I hated that.
Yeah, I was thinking when he shot the woman in the house too. you'd want to be
100% sure. That was my girl. Oh, that one.
Ah, shit. Sorry.
You shit the other one.
He was
I
Travolta was
misread the
nailing
situation.
Travolta was nailing everyone everywhere, right?
Yeah.
I still can't believe they tried to cast him as a James Bond. I just don't get it.
Oh yeah, but I mean, it was a Triple X. It was via Triple X. James Bond via Triple X, and we know where that went with Triple X. So this was watered down Triple X.
They could have got 2010 Sean Connery and he would have done a better job.
Yeah.
Questionable.
No, yeah, there would have been some
Just a bit of
some
smartness.
screen presence at the very least.
Hadn't he retired by then?
Yeah. This is the thing. I'm not Travolta's biggest fan, but there's plenty of films where the guy oozes some presence.
Yeah.
But here, and as I said, I thought he was the best part of the entire film.
He was giving it his best.
He was giving it his best, but I've come around to your thinking that he was miscast. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know who you put in. I mean, quite frankly, it's a disservice to take him out of it.
Yeah.
But who would you put in that role?
Oh, you could put any number of people, couldn't you?
Vin Diesel,
What about Michael? What about Michael Norrie?
Norrie, Dennis Quaid.
Stanley
Maybe not.
Fulton.
Mate, you
depending on
call
the
Norrie
background.
first, and then if Norrie doesn't answer, you maybe ring Dennis Quaid.
In
possibly.
a way, this does strike me as something you could have, like, this felt like, a 90s action film.
Yeah.
But in the 2000s where we've seen everything, we know everything, and this stuff doesn't cut it.
But none of it stood out. None
It's
of
the
it
kind of
ever
thing
would have
that
stood out.
Stallone
None of it
might
would
have
have stood
made in
out in
the
the 90s.
Give me Brad Pitt in there.
Nah, I reckon Stallone in the 90s would have made something like this.
Yeah,
The
but
Specialist.
It would have been a forgotten Stallone picture.
Exactly. But, I felt he would have fit more than Travolta.
Stallone?
Yeah.
Possibly. Maybe in his Cobra days when he didn't play, he didn't play by anybody's rules but his own.
The good thing is Stallone would have told us it was cut together beautifully.
Yeah, exactly. And we'd have ate it up until we saw the movie and said, you've stitched us up, Sylvester.
And give me Jean-Claude Van Damme as Wax.
I'll go to that.
He was in
At
France.
least he can fight. At least
He was
he
in
can fight.
France. Yeah, he was in France too.
At least he could fight and do something.
Yeah. Yeah, that would have probably worked. I think they did that one. It was called Maximum Risk. Any other dislikes? Come on.
I still can't remember what it's called. It's a horrible movie.
To Sir with Love or something.
All right, that's from Paris with Love. Thank you, Gibbo. Appreciate it.
Thanks for that.
And I'm glad you couldn't be here to do it.
Next episode, Pieces. We're going to look at it again.
We're going to do another deep dive into Pieces, three Blu-rays. We're going to watch all the extras as well. All right, you can find us on iTunes, Spotify, and Podomatic. Send us an email at thrillme@iinet.net.au. Like us on Facebook, we're at Thrill Me Podcast Australia, Podomatic at thrillme@podomatic.com, and Instagram at Thrill Me Podcast AU. Our next episode, keep an eye on the Facebook page and we will give you some more details. We most likely won't let Gibbo pick, I would assume. Although then again, based on our records, no one should be picking. Everyone's dished out some poop, so who knows what we'll come across. But until then, take it easy and we'll catch up with everyone later. Cheers. Find the podcast at Podomatic or on iTunes. Don't forget to rate and review. Like us on Facebook at Thrill Me Podcast Australia or contact us at thrillme, all one word, all lowercase, at iinet.net.au.